Hello everyone, my name is Dyfan and I'm from Explore Science Discovery Centre. With the assistance of children from the DE Federation schools, I'm going to bring you this workshop called the 11-mile journey about the challenges faced by the builders of the Pont Cysylltu aqueduct and canal. A canal is a waterway that has been created by people, made either for boats to travel inland or to transport water. Lots of important raw materials like coal, limestone, sandstone and clay were found in the Dee Valley. As industrial towns and cities grew in the Midlands and the northwest of England, demand for these materials grew. By linking to these areas, the canal enabled materials to be transported cheaply to the growing markets. The difficulty for the canal designers was that whilst many canals pass through fairly flat terrain, the Llangollen area is mountainous with deep valleys. They needed to find a way for the canal to cross the Ceiriog and Dee valleys. Water cannot travel uphill, so a solution was needed that would carry the water evenly across the deep valleys. What did they build? An aqueduct. An aqueduct is a bridge that carries water over a valley, river, road or railway. Firstly, Chirk Aqueduct was built across the River Ceiriog. It has 10 stone arches and was the tallest in Britain when it was first built. The Dee Valley is even deeper, so this aqueduct needed to be even longer and higher. Thomas Telford used cast iron to form the trough of the canal. This meant less pressure was put on the stone piers, as it was a lighter material. The aqueduct is 300 metres long and 39 metres high and would have been very difficult to build without modern technology. These volunteers are going to help us build a model of Pont Cysylltu aqueduct. Gravity acts on everything with mass, including us, the air around us, and of course, the aqueduct. The bigger the mass, the bigger the gravity. The planet Earth has an enormous mass, so it places a huge gravitational attraction on everything else. This means the aqueduct is being pulled towards the Earth at all times. If something breaks off, it will fall to the ground due to gravity. But working against gravity is the internal upward force of the structure. As long as the aqueduct is built carefully and remains strong, it will not collapse or deform under gravity. However, gravity is also the aqueduct's friend, as it moves the water in the canal slowly downstream. Certain shapes are best for withstanding force, so you will see lots of arches, domes and triangles in large structures. The keystone at the top of the arch distributes the pushing force from the material above down the sides of the arch, through the pillars and into the foundations in the ground. Stone was the material chosen for the pillars and arches, as stone can withstand significant compression forces coming from the weight of the canal, boats and people crossing over the aqueduct. Plus, stone remains strong and stable when battered by the forces of nature, including wind, rain and snow. Friction is also very important in structures such as aqueducts. Friction is the force when two surfaces rub against each other, and it helps stop the stones in the aqueduct from moving past each other. At all times, the forces acting on the aqueduct must be equal so that the structure remains unchanged. Aqueducts have stood for hundreds of years, so the builders were very clever engineers. Although that only took us a minute to build, the Pont Cysylltu aqueduct took 10 years to design and build, and over 500 people to do it. Now it is time for the challenge. Canals, as we know, are made by people. These people would have to design a route for the canal to take, and when doing so, they might encounter different problems. This is where our volunteers come in. As a group, they will be designing a route for their canal to take, but they will have to take some things into account as they do that. Each group has a valley model in a tray, a box of modelling clay, 20 straight troughs, 5 corner troughs, a ruler, a roll of masking tape, and a water source. Around the valley is a factory, a wooded area and a town. Each group will be working together to build a canal, complete with aqueduct. It should start at the water source and finish at the town. As you can see, the volunteers are considering the terrain, as water will not travel uphill, and making sure there are no gaps in the canal or the water will come out. At the end, we will test to see whether the volunteers have completed the task successfully. I wonder how many times the water will cross the valley. It looks like the volunteers all enjoyed using their problem-solving skills to build their canals. They have overcome a variety of challenges by working out how to construct an aqueduct and minimising the water loss. I think they should all be very proud of what they achieved. Of course, everyone can have a go at experimenting with water and in building structures. Can you build a strong arch out of paper or transport water down a pipe? Why not have a go at building an aqueduct using materials you can find at home or in school? Don't forget, water is heavy, so you will need to choose materials that are strong and watertight. If you're based in North and Mid Wales, Cheshire or Shropshire, then you can book this workshop too with Explore Science Discovery Centre.